listening to a podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants with hosts Willie Dills, Chad King, and Ben Lee.
Let's go Giants! SF Giants! Let's go Giants! SF Giants!
Dedicated to the greatest team in Major League Baseball history, the San Francisco Giants. This is Torture Cast. Welcome, everybody, to the Torture Cast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. The nearly last place San Francisco Giants. I'm just going to go ahead and start us off with a big bummer right there, because that's what this whole show is probably going to be. This is episode 51. Episode 51, the Noah Lowry episode. My name is Willie Dills. I'm joined by my two co-hosts. First, Ben, who just saved our ass with the Audio Hijack Pro license key. Thank you, sir. Welcome to the show.
Being a professional nerd has its advantages.
It's true.
Can I say?
Yes. And being a man who is willing to shell out good hard-earned money for software and support the great people at Audio Hijack. Thank you for that, Ben. Good job.
Rogue and Miva are good guys. What can I say?
Yeah. Well, their product makes this show possible. So
and they can have my money.
So shout out to them.
In fact,
and,
they already have my money.
If you want to sponsor the show, sure. Also joining us today is Chad King. Chad, what is happening, my man?
Well, I've lost 7 out of my last 8 beers, and I'm almost in last place. So things aren't going very well right now.
You've lost 7 out of 8 pounds due to stress, I would assume.
Oh, my God. Well, I have in front of me some Jim Beam bourbon, Kentucky Straight bourbon whiskey.
You're about to gain 7 out of your 8.
And
I don't
couple of PBRs. Because, we won yesterday. And I was like, okay.
That was rare.
Okay, 6 in a row, and now we got one. I was like, maybe this is the start of us turning it around, and it was not. Because today in a rain-shortened game, we lost again by a lot. What was the final?
Fairness,
8-1?
8, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. In fairness, I don't know that I'm really convinced that Mike Kickham is ready for primetime yet.
I don't think, He tried to take the goggles off, like maybe that would help. But, even your...
Maybe if he really didn't see the strike zone, he could just pretend that he was playing a video game or something.
That's called watching the wheels fall off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They aren't wheels.
Yeah,
they're glasses.
Kickham is, to borrow a joke from one of my friends, Buster, Kickham is going to kick him to the hell back down to the minor leagues here pretty soon. And
you mean to borrow a joke from probably like 50% of Twitter?
Everybody, I'm sure.
Like, boy, no one would have thought of that.
Yeah. So he's not the answer. Clearly.
Look at that. The way that the Giants are playing is even making us really cynical about our own jokes. It's that bad, guys.
I know.
It is that bad right now.
It's really this is. I think I've said this on the show. I've seen the Giants play really bad, and there's been a couple times I've said I think this is the worst I've seen them play in a long time. But this is the worst I've seen them play in a long time. I mean, so we finished June. Today is July the 1st. July Fool's Day, of course, as everybody knows. And we have lost 7 of our last 8, 9 of our last 11, and went 10-17 in June. That's some Houston Astro numbers right there.
Actually, we won 25 games. July Fools!
Yeah, July Fools, y'all. Sorry. No, I mean, it is painfully bad right now to watch the Giants. And it's not even... I mean, we're not even contending in games. We're not even making it look like we have a chance. There's been a couple games where we've lost close. When a pitcher like Matt Cain's performance the other night comes to mind, we lose on a walk-off at the very end, and Matt Cain pitched phenomenal. I mean, I think the stat in that was until Jeremy Affeldt gave up, I believe it was a base hit or a walk in the 9th inning or something, they hadn't had a base runner since the 2nd inning in that game. I mean, that was some lights-out pitching. But there's games like this today peppered in with the mix that we just have nothing going on. Buster Posey is the only guy who seems to know how to swing a bat. And
well, in fairness, though, we're not contending in a lot of games, and yet we're still contending in the division. It's another one of those years where it's just like everybody around the NL West is like, no, you go ahead. No, you please.
Yeah, everybody's opening the door for someone else.
Sure. No,
Yeah.
and so at
Clearly,
some point,
the NL wild card is not coming out of the West Division this year.
no. Well,
No.
maybe the second one. No, probably not.
No.
But so here's the thing: the Giants. You bring up a good point. The Giants, while they've lost an amazing 17 games in June, we are only 3.5 out.
3
out. Okay. The entire division is 3.5 games apart. So, but here's the other really depressing piece of news here, is that we are now only a half a game above the lowly Los Angeles. They should rename them the Los Angeles Injured Reserve. I mean, these guys have gone through much worse than what we've gone through as far as injuries this year.
I'm kind of upset that they're not the Las Vegas 51s anymore. That's somebody. I think that's the Mets now, which is also depressing. But like, it would have been fun, just like, and here's the Las Vegas team. It's,
yeah. So they were
I don't recognize half of our team anymore either.
No,
so
it's true. No, but I mean, the Dodgers were kind of they were a punchline for a long time this year. We cannot use them as a punchline anymore because we're half game up, and that whole little meme of Magic Johnson,
Mo money, Mo problems,
and Bruce Bochy. What do they have in common? They both own the Dodgers. That's gone now too. I mean, we just got swept by them, and it was bad from the get go. And it's just at this point I am no longer a cocky asshole on Twitter. I am eating all the crow that you can put in front of me right now. This team is really bad right now. Not to say that they're bad for good and for the rest of the year and whatnot, and this is just a bad team. Obviously, 23 out of 25 guys or whatever from the World Series, obviously it's not a bad team. But right now, this is a bad team. So, Chad, I want to hear your take. What is the problem? Like, where are we going wrong right now, just as a ball club?
Honestly, I think it's the bullpen. I think missing Casilla and Godin and some of these guys has really hurt. There have been some crucial games that have been given up by some of the guys filling in those holes. And I think that can kind of start the tailspin of losing a few in a row. It affects the psyche of the team. Bochy's switched up the lineup a little bit, batting Posey third now instead of fourth. Pablo's just
I've been saying should have happened for a long time, frankly.
That's true. Yeah, I'm not against that. But Pablo's come back, and he has looked like a completely different player. He is cold as ice. I think it's just a confluence of factors. But I think the good news is that I think the worst ball is behind them. Not saying that they're going to lose the next 2 or 3 at Cincinnati. I think they could lose that. But I think July is going to be a better month. They're going to start getting some guys back, and they can't play much worse than they have been.
No, they really can't. And
they've lost 9 out of 11.
Yeah. But okay,
much worse than that.
This to me makes something painfully obvious, and that is that Vogelsong's injury was the biggest injury of the year to this point, regardless of how he was pitching.
We can't fill that back hole.
No, the problem is that it's thrown everything out of whack trying to fill that void in the rotation. And no matter how bad he was pitching, what he was doing was giving us an arm every fifth day that wasn't taking Godin out of the bullpen.
Well, people called it. They said there's no starting depth rotation. There's no starting rotation depth on that team.
There was not a sixth guy.
And there's not. Yusmeiro Petit is hurt, and I wouldn't even like him as the sixth guy. Chad Godin is hurt, and I kind of liked him as the sixth guy.
He was a great sixth guy, yeah. But
he did all right as a sixth guy, but as fitting in as a fifth guy, it's like, it's been mostly okay. But,
let's say this, too. I mean, he got injured pretty damn fast, and it may be that his arm wasn't really prepared.
He's done better than Vogelsong in terms of, fifth starter.
Yeah, but his arm maybe wasn't prepared for being in the starter's role. Like, he didn't properly prepare himself for that, Well,
I think the biggest...
I would say the biggest problem is you can't take out Chad Godin to go to Chad Godin.
True.
Exactly. That's the hugest hole. It's like, even though he performed better than Vogelsong this year statistically, great, you can say that. But he was such a valuable weapon as long relief. and you take them out, and then there's no one left, especially on top of Casilla being out and other guys being out. You get guys like Dunning in, and you know, Kickham coming in, and these guys we've never even heard of, and they're just getting shelled. And even Contos has had a horrible year this year.
Contos has looked pretty
well,
awful, and that's actually surprising because you know he's been a fairly solid guy in the bullpen for us since he's come in. So,
and Affelt had a horrible June. Affelt was just giving it up.
Yeah, but Affelt as well is, as far as bullpen pitchers can be, is a fairly streaky bullpen pitcher. So I expect at some point we're going to be talking about how great he is again. You know, and look, to be quite honest, the hottest guy in our bullpen right now has got to be Javier Lopez, right? I mean, he's the only guy who's doing his thing, and the problem with him is he only pitches to one batter. And so, you know, there's not a lot you can get out of that. Casilla has sub-2 ERA for the year, and he's missing. You know, Romo still doing fine as a closer, but we got to get to him. And your options to get to him right now are Rosario, Dunning, Nogodan, Maharis, Contos. You know, it's just these names are not the names that we expected to be calling out at the beginning of the year. So, yeah, I tend to agree with you, Chad. I think the bullpen is really where the biggest blow has come because, you know, Juan Perez has been redeemable, especially defensive
in the outfield.
Yeah, especially on the defensive front as a replacement for Pagan, who now will be gone for quite a while. But you know, to me, absolutely, it was losing Vogelsong, which led to the lack of depth in the bullpen by switching Godin into that role, and then losing Godin, which led to a scramble and kick him after having a terrible first start in the majors. I mean, a good first 3 innings and then a terrible actual result from the end of that, or you know, from then on, having to start again 2 more games, and we're scrambling. We got nothing right now. We got nothing.
I mean, you look up and down that, like, I mean, Petit is hurt, Vogelsong's hurt, Godin is hurt, you know, Casilla is coming off a thing, Lux is hurt. You know, we're down to like Boof
I know.
Bonzer.
Lux would be great right now.
And I would love to see Boof Bonzer finally in a Giants outfit. We've been looking for that for years, but it's not. It's like it's look at his stats. It's not going to happen yet, guys.
Gonna get a ball dude here soon.
That's Joe, the doctor from Redwood City. Who? All right.
Look, Kruko's got at least one more start in that arm, don't you think?
Sure, why not?
No, I mean that'd be a long relief thing.
Throw him out there, man.
Take a couple innings.
Today would have been perfect. Down 8-1.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Calling Kruko from the broadcast booth.
Fresno won their game 14-3 today, or is winning. Sorry, in the process of winning their game currently 14-3. But then again, they are playing in Las Vegas, and everything hits farther. And
sure.
What happens there stays there.
How close is Surkamp? Does anybody have like any news on that? Like, how close is he to being really ready to rock?
Surkamp, come on, dude. Surkamp is coming back from TJ surgery.
I understand
He's progressing
that,
normally, but it's gonna be a while.
But is he really that far off? I mean, that was a while ago that he had that surgery. I thought he was getting close to being ready to go this season. So yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, we're I mean, just like Bruce Bochy and Brian Sabian, we are now grasping at straws. Everybody, it is officially happening.
There are straws. We have grasped them. What is
Kyle Crick? Kyle Crick? Anybody? Can we toss this guy
Come
out
on,
there?
he's dominating High A San Jose.
Yeah. Can we just do
Perfect.
something? Yeah, it's just...
It just really hurt when Zach Wheeler came up this month.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yusmeiro
that was...
Petit is actually back on the active list.
But let's be honest, at the time...
Yeah, technically so is Eric Surkamp. So
as much as we didn't want to give up Wheeler, that trade made sense at the time. People talk about that trade like it's like the worst thing that
No, it's all hindsight. I mean, look, the guy, he actually performed well. I mean, Beltran's
wait a second,
stats
guys.
were actually very good in 2011. It just, with Posey's absence,
Too little, too late.
Everything that happened, it was it was exactly too little, too late, and didn't re-sign, and that's it.
I probably should point out that if I read this right, and I can't believe I totally missed this, Eric Surkamp actually started for the Fresno Grizzlies today.
Okay. Well, there you go.
And they are winning 14-3.
So there is a little light at the end of the Surkamp tunnel, and maybe, and I know that Vogelsong has started actually getting to the point where he's throwing a baseball again and starting to kind of get
on flat ground today.
Yeah, so he's starting to get to the point where he's not too far off, and who knows? I mean, maybe the time off, we've talked about it on this very show, that maybe the time off gives him a little chance to rest that arm, and he may come back and suddenly be the Vogelsong that we were expecting to have. You know, it could happen. So as down in the dumps as we are, and as gloomy as the outlook looks, there are signs of good things around the corner if we can just get there. We need to weather the storm and get there. Is what we need to do right now. So let's.
Camp, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, ERA of 1.8.
Okay, well there you go. So let's just finish out the doom and gloom. Pagan, surgery on the hammy, went down to, where was he? San Jose, and got hurt. Had to get wheeled off the field.
Yep.
Which just, it was ugly, and it looks like he'll
Damn
be out.
inside the park home run killed him.
I know that's the problem. Aubrey Huff needs to come and talk to Angel Pagan about how to properly celebrate. Was it in the celebration? Was it during the run around the bases? I mean, I know he was hustling, but dude, you hit an inside the park home run, and that means you're out for the next 14 weeks. It's going to be by the time he comes back. It looks like. I mean, that's just bad, you know. So we lost him in early September. When he gets back, I mean, who even knows what kind of game shape he'll be in.
Yeah, that's at the point of 3 weeks being left in the season.
Exactly.
So
yeah, we're talking about stretch run there when he gets back. So that's always iffy. When a player comes back that late, it's always iffy because you don't know what you're going to get at that point. And that's when you really need to be in late season form. You need to have that full season in front of you, or behind you anyway, and be kind of ready for that final push. And maybe he'll be fresh, but I don't know. You know, it's a question mark. Casilla, you said rehabbing in San Jose, could be back later this week. That's really, really hopeful if that can actually happen. That's going to be a big, big boon to the bullpen, which we talked about is struggling. But let's talk about some good news. Buster Posey is absolutely on fire. Like this, I haven't seen him be on fire since last year. Like this, he tends to do this, doesn't he? This Buster.
The man
this
is
Buster Posey
actually
guy.
on fire.
Yeah, this guy is just continuing to prove why he is just one of the best players in all of baseball, and he just seems to hit a home run every single day at this point. I don't know exactly where pitchers.
I mean, today
inside,
Brandon Belt had to
outside.
fill in. Posey would have hit one in the 8th or the 9th, but we never got that far.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If we had gotten there, he would have done it. But I mean, the thing is, you can't pitch him inside, you can't pitch him outside, you can't pitch him high, you can't pitch him low. And
Well, these are the kind of hot streaks that we would talk about. Like we were like, where are they? It's like we don't see them at the beginning of the year when everybody forgot that it's the beginning of the year, us included, to some extent. But at the beginning of the year, you weren't going to see this stuff necessarily right away, because every so often a guy takes a little while and then gets on a hot streak. And Posey has really blown up the last couple weeks.
You know what's great about this? He's starting it before the All-Star break, and I predict that it's just going to. This is the trajectory of his season. I think how this guy plays. At least while he's young, this might be. The longer he plays at the catcher position, the harder this is going to be to do every year. But 11 for 22, 4 home runs, 6 RBIs. Average went from 307, already very good, now up to 322, and that's all within 1 week of play. So he is the official NL Player of the Week. And
Chad,
what were the Giants? What was the Giants' record during his 500 batting average run there?
1 win for the week.
1 and 6 losses. We didn't have a day off. 6 losses during that week. So that's not supposed to happen. And that's
there's got to be
at
some
least
kind
they
of
don't
joke
vote
about
that
most
based
valuable
on
player in here somewhere, right?
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Anyway, it's just sad to watch Buster try to put the team on his back and have the team be so damn heavy with their poor play that he can't, even with this type of production, he can't carry this team. And we're not playing, we're not playing all the world-beating teams. This was the Dodgers we were playing. We're supposed to, yes, it's the Dodgers plus Puig, yes, but still the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And yes, the Dodgers plus Matt Kemp coming back. And yes, the Dodgers with some other guys actually having decent series. And yes, we had to face Clayton Kershaw. All right, never mind. We
always have to face Clayton Kershaw.
yeah. All right, so the All-Star Game rosters will be revealed July 6th. Surprisingly, Buster Posey has now fallen behind Yadier Molina. And I can only imagine there must be some sort of massive Cardinals PR push to have done this, right? I mean, Buster
That or
Posey
else all of
clearly-
us voted first.
Yeah. Well, we need to get back on this because Buster needs to be the guy. I mean, he's
Yeah,
definitely
well,
the
no,
guy.
he just had that crazy week. I mean, Yadier has a 20-point average advantage, but Buster has 12 home runs to his 6.
Sure.
And he also has more RBIs. He has a better on base percentage, better OPS.
I think it's
All
safe
of
to
those
say
things.
that if somehow not only do we not vote Buster in, but the players don't vote Buster in, I think it's safe to say that Bochy is going to take Buster.
Oh no, he'll
Well,
be there.
no, clearly he'll be on the roster.
He'll be there, but
Yeah.
I would like to see him.
I'd like
be the
to
starter.
see him be the starter.
Yeah.
Well, he's
absolutely.
the only legitimate Giants
Along with,
starter.
like what, Matt Harvey probably.
He is the only legitimate starter, but I could definitely see Pence being there. I could definitely see Pablo getting picked by Bochy. I don't think
Yeah.
Pablo's actually going to charge and take. I mean, he's behind Wright, right? So
He's
he's
not
behind.
playing like he wants it either. And to be frank, Wright's having a hell of a season.
no,
so.
at this point,
Wright deserves
Wright
it.
deserves
way
it.
more than Pablo.
Yeah,
Yep.
so Pablo
Yep.
deserved it last year.
Yep.
We're on a Giants podcast, and we will all humbly say that David Wright does deserve it this year over Pablo because Pablo's had some struggles recently. And
Actually, can we race around that real quick? I'm curious who we all kind of think should actually take all-star spots at the different positions, because I think it's safe to say that there are a lot of positions right now we'd be hard-pressed to say Giants belong at as starters.
the
All-Star game?
just Posey.
I would say just Posey.
Yeah.
Just Posey. That's it.
Yeah.
Just Posey.
That's it.
Now Pence, I think, would be a great addition to
Yeah.
come off the bench.
I think he's a good reserve. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think Pence makes sense as an all-star reserve. I think Crawford makes sense as an all-star reserve.
Absolutely,
Or did
yeah.
prior to this month.
no, I
Not
still
sure
think he
you
does.
know.
I still think because the defense hasn't really suffered. It's just he's had a couple of bumps in the road there, but the hitting is still far beyond where he was expected to be, and I think the hitting still gets him legitimate consideration. He's definitely let off the gas a little bit, but I mean we can't look at this team and say that Crawford is the problem. You know what I mean? Like we can't look at what's going on and say that guy is not pulling his weight around here. So-
yeah, it's just gonna piss me off if like the fans vote in Puig,
Oh,
or
dude,
something like that.
he's like the crown jewel of the NL right now. Like everybody's in love with this guy. He's
No, that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that MLB is going to put him on the fan vote, for the fifth man or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
The last place,
final vote.
guy or whatever.
the final vote. Yeah, and that's what I'm afraid of. And
Well,
But you
I think
know,
I'm afraid
gonna
that it's
suck.
going to be Puig versus a Giant for the final vote there. And
Does
it's gonna be
anybody
like, oh,
not
great.
want to see Puig in the All-Star game though? I mean, this kid is special. This kid is special.
He's played like he should be there. I'll grant you that easily.
But very, very short amount of time, obviously. I mean, what, 20, 23, 24 games, something like that. But,
yeah, he's had like 90 at bats.
But, come on, Chad. Do you really not want to see this kid be there? Because he is ridiculous. I mean,
Okay, I want to see him if he goes 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. Yes.
oh, really?
He's not going to go
I
0
want
for
the
4
NL
because they're
to
not going to
win,
leave him in
man.
long enough in the game. to
I
go 0
know.
for 4.
That's why I'm saying that.
I
Okay,
want
think
the
about it.
NL to win. I don't care. Like,
NL versus AL, Bochy has a weapon like Yasiel Puig off the bench. What do you think happens?
I know.
Look. The guy's hitting 436,
Yeah.
which is down from 540, whatever.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
sucks.
he's 7 home runs
Clearly
already.
terrible.
7 home runs and 100 at bats.
Clearly terrible. Don't know why they signed him.
Give the guy
Not one clue.
600 at bats for a season, and he's gonna be a friggin' monster, dude. And like, yes, they'll figure out something. The league
Well,
will
he's not going to
adjust.
be hitting 400 something,
No,
but
no.
he's still going to be hitting.
No, but the league will adjust, and
So maybe he'll top out at like 360.
But they showed the stats like, okay, he's hitting this average in this location, right? Every location was like over 500, and even outside of the strike zone was like 300. I mean, it was crazy. This guy, you can't throw the ball anywhere because he will hit it hard. And when the Giants played the Dodgers, and we got to kind of watch it firsthand. I mean, we kind of like heard about it while it was going on around us, kind of on our peripheral. The whiskey's kicking
Periphery?
in, boys. The whiskey is kicking in. But no,
Oh, yeah.
so we heard about this kid. We kind of saw it a little bit, secondhand, I'll say. And getting to see it firsthand, even his outs are scary. I mean, when the guy doesn't get a hit, it frightens me because it's a line drive that just happened to go at somebody. Or, it's
loud outs. Yeah.
yeah, it's a pop fly that went, a mile in the air and got to the warning track. I mean, it's just crazy stuff what this guy's doing. So I would like to see him there. I really would. He's an exciting player. And maybe one day the Giants will get him. Maybe. Probably not.
Great.
All right.
Let's just pass him around between the Dodgers and the Giants. Yeah.
No, can we just
Sloppy
be
seconds.
the team that
Great.
gets the guy from, because we always give our guys to the Dodgers. Can we be the team? Can the Giants just grab the dude from them for 1 point and not Oral Hershiser at the end of his freaking career? Can it just be the guy who's still in like the prime and we grab him? Anyway, all right, let's move on. Big question.
No, we can't.
Yeah, I know. Do we have enough time?
Is he an aging Latino veteran? No?
Yeah. No, he's not. I'm sorry. He's a very young Latino
Is he Jeff
superstar.
Francoeur?
Yeah.
Because apparently the rumor is that we might end up with Jeff. It's people are thinking we might end up with Jeff Francoeur.
No. That's
God,
not good.
please don't let that happen. All right, so do the Giants have enough time to recover and challenge for the NL West crown? I'm going to go ahead and start us off here and say we better, because we ain't getting the wild card.
Good answer.
Yeah, so we better have enough time. Okay, definitely we have enough time. I mean, 3.5 games back.
Yeah.
Or 3 games back. More than half the season to play. Clearly we have enough time. Clearly it's not time to freak out. But what needs to happen for this to go down? Ben, what do you think is like, what is the magical piece that gets put in place that makes this happen?
The thing is, I want to say bullpen, except that the part of the issue for us has been that the bats aren't stringing anything together, and I think you're going to see at least one major shift of some kind. Sabian's got to be kicking some tires, and he can't only be kicking bullpen tires. We could definitely use a bat somewhere, except that it's hard to know where to fit them. We've got a bunch of guys that are pretty well entrenched at their spots. Outfield is going to have to be like left field is going to probably be the weak spot where we start looking to fit somebody in who can hit a little better. So I think we see at least one major lineup shakeup at some point in the next month. Unless the bats suddenly all warm up simultaneously, I think there's no way that we don't see Sabian make some kind of move. And that's always been kind of his strong point, is make one move that doesn't seem as big at the time in the middle of the year that turns out to, pan out surprisingly well. Even if it turns out to be Hunter Pence, leading cheers in the dugout, there's something about that acquisition in mid-year. Unexpected Freddie Sanchez move turned out okay. So I have the feeling, right? So I think that we are going to see some shifting around for relievers, but I think that it may be more of a Chris Ray type thing where they come in, they're useful, they don't necessarily stick around. But I think that we're going to see at least one big lineup shakeup, and I'm guessing right now it's going to be in left field because Blanco and Torres aren't doing enough to grab it. Either it's going to be Perez comes in as a fielder and stays in while Pagan comes back, or we're going to go out and get somebody and leave Perez in center. Those are my two guesses right now.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think we need an outfielder. I think we need a bullpen guy, and if we can get a starter, get him. You know what I mean? Get him. But I definitely think there's 3 spots that need to get filled for this team to push, and it sucks to say that. I mean, that Sabian's got a lot of work to do. And we're coming up on the time where stuff is going to start happening pretty quick here. So we shall see where that actually ends up going. Just getting a text message here. Let me put that on silent. All right. Okay. So, Chad, do you have any other thoughts on that, or are you kind of on board with our analysis?
No, I agree with you guys, but I also think that the injury, bandwagon is going to start collapsing here. Hopefully, Godin's going to come back and make his next start, or the one after that, because he's going to be better than Kickham. And I know he still has the gaping hole in the bullpen, but with Casilla coming back about at the same time, I think those 2 additions to the pitching staff is really going to help. I mean,
that fixes things a lot, for sure.
That really fixes things a lot. I mean, there's no way with those 2 guys added back, they're going to lose another 9 out of 11. That's just not going to happen.
Can I just say that real quick?
I think that's going to help.
Can I just say real quick, though, that Dunning's stats don't look bad. This kid doesn't look bad to me. I'm excited to see where he goes as a Giant. I mean, obviously
he's tall and skinny.
Yeah. But I mean, he's got a 1.86 ERA right now. A batting average against is 176. His WHIP is .83. I mean, the kid's doing it for what he can do, but he's not the savior.
Yeah. No, he's doing it so far.
Yeah. No, he's not the savior. What we need is guys like Machi. We need guys like Mijares. We need guys like freaking Affelt to step up and be what they were. We need Contos definitely. Contos might be the odd man out when all is said and done.
Could be. There's nothing says he can't kind of sneak his way back into the discussion. Yet at this point, almost anybody could.
Yeah, but
maybe we see a Dan Runzler resurgence. Who knows?
Runzler, sure, if he can find that. But I mean, obviously Sabian
does he get people out? Debatable.
Sabian will drop you if he thinks that's the right move. I mean, we all saw what happened to Ramon Ramirez this year.
Indeed,
couple of bad outings.
Kind of deservedly so.
ERA over 10, and boom, you're gone. I mean,
the Mets were not that upset to get rid of him. Let's just leave it at that.
No, he only pitched in 6 games for us, and boom, you're gone. DFA, get out of here. And I could definitely see now. One thing too, though, is some of these guys could be used to pick up other guys. Maybe even somebody like Kickham, even though he's not performed so well right now, and we don't want to be depleting our minor league system. But we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to give up something to get something there.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping it's not like panic.
Who knows? Maybe we pull a Cody Ross and sneak somebody off the waiver wire.
Yeah, that could. I definitely think we will pick somebody up and just give them a try off the waiver wire. But that's not the move that's going to save you. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's not going to be the move that's going to save us in the long run. I think we need too much at this point. This is not 2012.
There's a lot going on, and if a lineup shakeup happens, it's going to happen in the hopes that it's going to jolt some sense into the guys. It's not going to happen in the sense that it's going to be a magic bullet that fixes the whole thing. I mean, we're not anywhere near that point by now. It's if you look anywhere that isn't the 3 spot, like things are pretty bleak right now. And that's the thing is you can't fix 8 positions at once unless you blow the team up. Mm-hmm. And we're not Boston. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a couple of moves in the lineup that I think could reap beneficial rewards for us, and I obviously like Buster Posey at the 3rd spot, and he's doing a lot to prove that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
But I really wouldn't mind seeing Hunter Pence in the 3 hole with Pablo batting 5. I wouldn't mind seeing that, honestly.
I'd like Pence in the 4 hole.
Sure. Well, he's got more home runs than Posey. Well, maybe not anymore, right?
Well, and also just like as a slap hitter, Posey's better with contact.
Yeah.
Pence is more of a slap happy, and if you want to be able to get the 4th guy up in the inning, you need somebody in the 3rd who's going to hit. And I feel like for me, Posey has been the guy who should have been in the 3rd hole in our lineup for like 2 years.
Well, the one thing that worries me about Posey in the 3 hole is his speed. If he's the guy who, okay, so let's say one of the first 2 guys gets on.
As a hitter, I see him in the 3rd, but I agree with you as a base runner.
Yeah, so one of the first 2 guys gets on. Buster Posey comes up and hits a single, right? Which is going to happen more often than he's going to get some thunder going. So he hits a single. Now you've got your 4 and 5 guys up with the guy who basically needs an extra base hit to even have a chance to whiff home plate. To sniff home plate, I should say.
Mm-hmm. We're not talking Molina speed. This isn't station to station.
No.
Like 3 doubles and you'll get him home.
He doesn't completely clog the base paths. That was a thing. That was a definite.
That was a thing. It was so good. It was a running joke for everybody.
Yeah, like Molina got a leadoff single. Well, to score is going to be really difficult in this inning. It was crazy how much he clogged up the base paths. But Posey potentially does that. And that's to me the problem, and that's why Pence. I just like stacking your speed
that you want.
I like stacking your speed up front and then putting your boom later. And Pablo doesn't have a ton of speed. Once he gets going, he's got that inertia. But
the Broadway beer truck, as they say. Nice.
But Buster Posey is just. He can't even build inertia. He doesn't have enough fat to just start rolling downhill.
There's no momentum. It's just the go that isn't there.
It's all legs, and he doesn't have the ability to run.
Not nearly gangly enough. So
exactly.
There is that.
But so I
definitely get what you mean though. Pence is a much stronger base runner, and so there is something definitely to be said. You want your 3rd guy to be that combination of speed and power.
Yeah, and as an 8 hitter, I like Perez being in the 8 hole because I like kind of a second leadoff hitter in your 8 hole. The problem is we need Pagan back for that to really work because I'm not really very pleased with Torres, who has been getting quite a few starts as the leadoff hitter. And Blanco's fine, but again, these aren't the guys you want to rely on for the rest of the
No.
season. And
No.
Perez doesn't work there either because he's just not a good enough hitter. So I like him in the 8-hole, which moves Crawford up to 7, and then you've got Brandon Belt hitting 6th. And
Crawford, I think, has been. I don't know about the last few weeks, but Crawford has been hitting well enough. I'm okay hitting him higher up in the lineup.
yeah.
Pretty much regardless.
Well,
So,
we went to the game and he was batting 2nd, and we were like, "Holy crap! When has this happened?" You know, and we actually found out he's done it a few times, never as a starter, always as a pinch hitter coming in or a defensive replacement getting put into the 2nd hole in the lineup. So that was his first, But I've said it on this show before too. I see Crawford being a legit number 2 hitter later on in his career. I mean, right now, Scooter
Crawford was a legit number 2 hitter earlier in his career for himself, like at a lower level, and so and he says himself he's always felt more comfortable in the 2-hole.
No, I think it's a great place for him because I think he
he's
has
always
bat
said
control.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's exactly that kind of hitter. He's got a little bit of pop. He's got a really good eye for the bat. I mean, he's been doing a great job getting on base and moving guys around and getting working a couple extra base hits. If he can get a little more consistent with it, which he certainly started to this year, that's a perfect number 2 style hitter.
It's absolutely consistency for sure. The thing is, I see him being there in 2 years when Scudero is retiring. I mean, Scudero is definitely the number 2 hitter, even with a crooked finger. Scudero is your 2 hitter for sure. I mean,
Hammer number 2.
He's got that weird hammer finger, whatever they call it. I mean, that's gross, dude. It's so gross. All right, what's on deck? Oh, sorry. Armchair Man. We already discussed Armchair Manager, right? Who else besides Kickham? No one.
Yeah, we don't really have anyone.
No one. There's no one
But
else.
I do want to
sponsor?
say right now, we're halfway through the season, right? Mm-hmm. And, the San Francisco Giants, World Series champions, who were supposed to have one of the best rotations in the league, right now, halfway through 2013, they are sitting at number 14 out of 15 for starters ERA at a 4.57 clip.
July Fools.
That is just embarrassing. I mean, Kickham's got 3 starts. He's not affecting it that much.
That calls for another
That's
slug
bad.
of Jim Beam bourbon right now.
4.57. I mean, that's
terrible.
halfway through the season, and they are second to last in the NL. So I think you got to point to that as the main culprit for this year. We've talked about it before, and June was better. June was actually better than 4.57, which is really sad because it coincided with the fact that the Giants' offense fell flat on their face.
Yep.
Because they were the ones carrying the Giants pitching in the first couple of months of the year. If it wasn't for that, the Giants could be way back down where the Marlins are right now. So, it's one of those things. If you can keep the starting pitching heading north like it is now, get a couple guys back in the bullpen, and if the hitting can come together, I mean, hopefully they can turn this around. 3 games back. I mean, that's nothing.
It's not. No, you're right. I mean, there's plenty of teams that would love to be 3 games back right now. And
Our first place team halfway through this season is 2 games above 500. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
crazy. That's just, thank God we're not in the NL Central, because the season would be over right now.
oh yeah, no, we'd be done. We'd be sellers right now. We'd be talking about who we need to trade to get a bunch of minor league talent. And look, Giants fans, we still need to feel lucky to be fans of this franchise, because this franchise still is at the top of the game as far as major league teams. But we've been here before. We've been through this type of stuff before. We can't let this break us as fans. Let's not start booing our guys. Let's not start becoming a bunch of a-holes at the park. For God's sakes, let's stop reaching out and grabbing balls that are in play. And let's just suck it up and continue to be fans of this team, because you got to have faith. After winning 2 out of 3, you got to have some faith here. So I still, for one, feel like we've got the best manager in baseball. We've got the best general manager in baseball. We've got arguably the best player in baseball in Buster Posey. And so we're still in a damn decent spot. We just got some things that are not working in our favor right now. And I don't see it continuing on this path for the rest of the year. There's a lot of time left. All right, tweet at me, brah. Chad, you're the only one with something here, because we were all lazy as hell, and you're not. So
Well, no, I
Forget to
was
copy
lazy.
tweets and
No, I was lazy because I didn't actually research this story. It just sounded like Brandon Belt. And so Alex Pavlovic said that Belt said he once went swimming in a flooded dugout in the minors. Quote, I got in trouble. They said I was going to get malaria. I was fine, though.
See, and this is why Brandon Belt should be followed by every Giants fan.
Like, I don't need to see the story for this. I don't need to read the story for this. This is just Brandon Belt.
Can I tell you guys a story about swimming in something disgusting? One time I was on tour, and I'm pretty sure this was the tour I was in with Youth Gone Wild, which was my old band. We went on tour in 2001, and we were staying at this hotel, and it was probably the shittiest hotel I've ever stayed at. It was awful. Basically, I think the room cost us $19 or something like that, and 5 of us stayed in it. It was the first hotel we'd had in weeks. We'd been sleeping in the van, sleeping at people's houses, doing whatever we could, because basically we were putting the whole thing together ourselves, and money was tight, and to get a hotel room was just unheard of. It was not going to happen. But it was like one of those things where you drive by, it's like Motel 6, $19.99 or something. It's like flashing on the board, and we're like, all right, dude, we can afford that. Like, between the 5 of us, we can afford that, right? So we pull in, we check in, we get our room. We have to do the whole thing where we pretend there's only 2 of us, and then we sneak everybody else in. And I get into the room. We start drinking and partying, hanging out, because we're just stoked to be in a hotel room. I think we're hanging out with some other guys from another band or something. One of the guys says, I saw that there's a pool here, so let's go check it out. So we're like, sweet, let's go check it out. Let's go to, and it's like, I don't know, 12, 1, it was late. So we go down, everyone's like, got like, a half a 12 pack that they're carrying in one hand or whatever. And they got their open beer in the other, and like everyone's walking out of the pool. And we get down there and we look at it, and it's halfway filled, right? So it clearly is not functioning. It's halfway filled. This could be rainwater. This could be somebody took a hose one day and just like let it go for a little while to see if it would fill up. Tons of leaves, tons of gunk and nasty crap all over the place. And we're like, well, this is not, no, we're not swimming in this. And then somebody gets the great idea to offer up, I think it was $30 or something, for someone to jump in this thing.
Sounds like you were on tour.
Yeah, so I'm pretty drunk. So I go, yes. And I'm not only am I drunk, but I'm like, I'm kind of running out of money personally. I mean, I had some money that I'd stashed away that I was, okay, I can afford to buy food for myself while I'm on the road and everything. So I'm like, okay, I'll do that for $30, because $30 is like, I mean, that's a major win. I can get Taco Bell for at least a week off of that. So I'm like, okay, let's do this. I'll jump in, and then I think he actually ups it. He ups the stakes. He says, "I'll give you 40 or something if you do it with your clothes on." So I'm like, fine. Take my phone out of my pocket, whatever.
Smart. Clearly, you weren't too drunk for that.
Yeah, full beer in hand. I get onto. They actually did have a diving board, which I don't think was very springy though, but it was like a diving board.
It was just like a diving plank. Yeah. You're just like, go.
So I get on this diving board, full beer in my hand, and I try to like hop up and down and get a little spring going. And I think immediately the first hop I do, the board just doesn't actually spring the way I think a board is supposed to spring. And so as soon as I like hit the board with my actual first hop, I just like lose my balance and just fall into the pool. And I got a mouthful of just straight salt water. It was like, literally, it was salt water. It was not, there was no chlorine taste. There was no, it was like, I immediately knew I was sick. I was like, I'm going to be sick right now. I'm like, bacteria, infestations have all just entered my body through the one orifice that I'm not supposed to allow those things to enter my body, my mouth. It was the grossest experience of my life. Luckily, I was drunk enough.
The only one that you're, I don't want to get into this.
Yeah. Luckily, I was drunk enough that I got out of the pool and like just shook it off and continued to party. But it was so disgusting. I actually avoided getting sick. I think it was that 21-year-old body of mine that just was like, oh yeah, you don't get sick. No,
I'm sorry. Did you just say that you did that and you avoided getting sick on tour?
Yeah. You
should probably write a book about how to keep doing that.
I know. I mean, at the age of 21, you obviously can can take a few things you can't take at the age of 33, which I am now. But it was just, I'd built up this immunity to partying, this immunity to anything bad for me. I was eating nothing but fast food, drinking cheap beer, chugging tequila and whiskey at any given moment, and somehow I never got sick that whole tour. I don't know. It's just it's one of those things. But anyway, that's my Brandon Belt's got a better story because it was a flooded dugout in the minors. But that's my story anyway. All right, let's move on. After that,
I don't know how to follow that.
Little peek into my early 20s.
I got nothing. I can't follow that. We're done. I'm going. Later, guys. All right, bye. See you next week.
New favorite guy, Chad. Got it? Anybody? What do you got?
I got no one.
No one, huh?
Man, and I thought I was saying bleak things today.
Yeah, I think this podcast has come to a screeching halt right now.
It's coming to a screeching halt in a half full pool of salt water.
Yeah, I feel like I have some
10 years
nasty
ago.
bacteria-laden salt water in my mouth right now.
You know what? Telling that story, I can actually taste it right now, and it's
Oof.
grossing me the hell out.
That sounds traumatic. Clearly, you should drink more whiskey.
It's terrible. Yeah, a little slug of bourbon. I'm gonna fix that. All right, I will go. Let's see. My new
What is
favorite
the sound
guy.
of one man enabling.
Oh, yeah.
My new favorite guy is July the 15th, which is the beginning of the All-Star break.
Very nice.
I cannot wait to
Well
see you.
played, sir.
I cannot wait to see you
That's going to
July
be our best
15th.
mid-season pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am so looking forward to July 15th because you know what? The Giants cannot lose. We cannot lose on July 15th. And not only that, but we can't lose for 4 days after that either.
It'll be 4 straight days that we can't lose any ground.
That's as good as a winning streak for the Giants right now.
Damn right.
Let me just bring this up. The Giants lost 6 in a row before we won our game yesterday and then immediately lost today. We won 6 games in a row on May 5th. Can you even remember that?
May 5th of what, 2010?
Exactly. Can you even remember that? It doesn't seem like that happened this year, that we ever won 6 in a row.
No, it does not.
I can't even remember that feeling.
I remember some periods of time that I was really excited about our team.
Well, yeah.
Vaguely.
I vaguely remember that.
They weren't last year. I'm sure they weren't last year.
It's like a hazy, like I'm trying to remember what happened last night in a blackout kind of thing, though. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I
like,
got really drunk and the Giants won a bunch of games and
I have this
man, it was all kind of a
recollection.
blur.
I
think I made out with someone.
Then I made out. She was definitely fat, and then this other guy.
It might have
this
been
one guy was
Yasin
buying me
I really don't
drinks.
remember what happened.
This guy was buying me. I didn't even know him. He kept buying me whiskey all night.
Go here.
And we won 6 in a row. Yeah, no, that's what it's like right now. It's a haze, dude. It's a haze. All right, Ben, new favorite guy.
Okay. I'm taking the mainstream pick because it's honestly the only pick I think I could possibly make. Because I went through a bunch of, how I like to pick the really esoteric ones.
Sure.
And I couldn't find any, so I'm going with Buster Posey. And the hell with you guys.
Okay. No, you know what? Thank God somebody did it because he deserves it.
He absolutely has to be our favorite guy this week because no one else wants to step up and take it, for one, and two, because the man is I don't think that I think my fire extinguisher is expired, which is bad because he is on fire.
Sure.
Yes.
The man is absolutely on a ridiculous tear, and it just sucks that he's not getting any support around it.
It makes it harder for other people to notice too, which is the worst part. You get a team that goes on a big winning streak and a guy has a big time. Everybody around baseball goes, "Ooh, I think we're lucky he got picked as player of the week because he absolutely deserves it." But at the same time, that's about the only thing that's been done to call any attention to him, except for fans of the opposing team that go, "Gee, that Posey guy, he sure hits them pretty far when they're down by 10 runs."
I'm going to give out a piece of homework to our fan base, to anybody who's listening to this show right now. Find me the last time a guy got picked as NL Player of the Week when their team went 1-6. I want anybody to find that information and tweet that at us, brah, because I cannot imagine that ever happening before. It just doesn't. It doesn't.
I'm sure
compute.
it must have because there have been so many players of the week, but it's so hard to believe.
It doesn't compute though. The only
guy going
way
on a
this
tear
could have
like that.
happened. The only way this could have happened is you had to play for a terrible team, definitely not the defending world champions, and you had to have an amazing week on a terrible team. I don't see how it happens other than that. And
Well,
yet,
I mean, I guess if you're like Roberto Clemente.
and yet here we have Buster Posey doing it on the defending world champions, batting 500. What was it? 4 home runs, 6 RBIs. Okay. And second of all, 4 home runs and 6 RBIs. Something's wrong with that picture right there. Batting 500 in the 3 or the 4 hole, 6 RBIs. Something very wrong with that stat right there. So anyway, challenge is laid out. Please, somebody tweet at us, brah, if that ever happened, because I'm not going to look it up. Ben, you might be able to figure this one out because you're the stats king. So.
If I find time, I may suddenly be inclined to look it up. But I'm really hoping one of our listeners decides to do it first because I got work this week.
Yeah, probably SF Giants Boobs is going to take this on because SF Giants Boobs they'll just take anything on, and they're the only thing that's made me happy as far as
so they can
Giants
solve
are
everything,
concerned.
including problems.
Yeah, the SF Giants Boobs Twitter handle is the only thing that has saved my season so far as a Giants fan.
Is it
like
boobs,
that handle.
It's a boobs and Posey kind of week. Is that
Exactly.
what it is?
Boobs and Posey can't go wrong. All right, let's
Not
hate
bad.
on people. Chad, go ahead and start us off.
The Dodgers, all of them, not just Puig. That's
Yeah,
just
no,
the whole-
just
the
losing
whole lot.
3. I mean, if they could have salvaged one, and they should have won one of those 3. Mm-hmm. There was a close game there that they should have won, and it sucks. So yeah,
I'm going to relate another quick story to you guys. There's a good friend of mine who's a big Dodger fan. Really great baseball guy too. He actually gets the MLB app and he watches not just Dodger games. He watches like all the games. This
Wait,
guy
you
is
sure
a
he's a
fantastic
Dodgers fan?
baseball fan. He's a Dodger fan, but he's one of the few.
Not
He's-
convinced.
He's one of the few who's just a legit baseball fan. Me and
Okay,
him can
okay.
sit and we can discuss baseball.
All right,
It's great.
credit.
I bet him $10 on Game 3 of the series, which was started by Lincecum and Kershaw. And as I bet him, I said, "I'm sorry, but I hate to do this as a Giants fan because this should be straight up, but I need some weight. You need to give me 2 runs because I will not. I'm just not betting on the Giants even. I'm not taking cash out of my wallet."
Right. You were betting that they would win by at least 2
So
runs.
the Dodgers had to win by more than 2, and the
More than
Giants
2?
Yeah. So 2 runs
Okay.
was like break even, basically.
right.
And it so happened that the Dodgers were winning 4-2 in the top of the 9th. And even though it pained my heart because of the fact that we had bet $10 on that, I literally caught myself thinking, well, if the Giants just go down in order here, I can't lose my money. because if the Giants lost, it was 2 runs. If the Giants did score and tied the game, the Dodgers could have come up and scored enough to make it so that I would have lost, basically. We could have gone to extras or whatever, you know what I mean? But I literally had that thought, and then I immediately felt like a terrible person. So
You're horrible, man.
Well, at least
I
you
am,
felt like
dude.
a terrible person.
I am. I mean, obviously, I wanted the
It's
Giants
not
to win the
entirely
game.
redeeming, but
If I will spend money to go to a Giants game, I will definitely spend $10 to have the Giants win. But anyway,
give it to
All
Brian
right.
Stowe, man. Give it to Brian Stowe.
That's true. Game for Brian Stowe. All right, I will go next, and I will say that we should all hate anybody who's standing 60 feet 6 inches away from a Giants batter, because
All
Whoever
kinda look
they
the same
are.
at this point, man.
whoever they are, they
They
seem
all,
to
they all
have it.
resemble Cy Young, strangely.
Yeah, they seem to have it going. I don't understand what's happening.
Just ask Kruk. Every time one of those pitches, and boy, he really has it all going tonight. No, we
Exactly.
just don't.
No, exactly. We used to make a living doing this, which was make other guys look like Cy Young Award winners. We used to do this on a consistent basis, and now we're
Oh, yeah.
doing that again. And it is terrible to watch. So anybody who is pitching against the Giants, I will hate him, and I will hate him with a passion at this
Until the
very
next
moment. Until you get replaced with somebody else. And then I'm going to hate that guy because they all seem to have it going. All right, Ben, finish us off.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and hate on gloves that are located in the outfield. I'm going to hate on all of the gloves that are in the outfield where otherwise baseballs would not land in gloves.
Sure.
Hating
I
on
like
them.
it.
Hating all of them.
I really like this, dude, because this is becoming a big problem. I think there's actually a game, and I think I tweeted about it on our TortureCast account, that the fan. Okay, so the fan where the ball hit and went up into the air, straight up into the air. A fan reached out like just above the 421 marker in front of the Coors section, right? The little Coors beer section. Reached out and just grabbed that ball. There is no way that's a foul ball, right? Like, it's impossible for that to be a foul ball. And some fan reached out and grabbed it. Stop it. Just stop it, you guys. It's pissing me off.
Oh, I meant the gloves on the players too.
Oh, sorry. All right.
No, I agree with that as well. Like, if I was picking a sensible thing to hate on, I would probably hate on fans that interfere with games. But we're past that point, man. If we had done a podcast last week, I might have come up with something sensible. We're gone, man.
Yeah.
We're
okay.
gone.
Sure. Anybody with a glove. Ben hates
Pretty much
it.
anybody. Yeah. Just anybody with the glove.
Don't bring a glove now.
Just stop bringing the glove.
Stop it. Stop bringing
the glove, or
gloves.
Ben is going to hate on you.
All right, let's talk about why we will win it all.
Unless you bring one of those caps that says "I heart haters" on it, do not bring your glove.
I couldn't even get through saying why we will win it all without cracking up in laughter because it's so ridiculous. All right,
If
Chad.
you thought Zeke's episode was bad, try watching us go on a 1-6 streak before
Yeah.
the next episode.
Exactly. All right, Chad.
Okay.
You got anything?
All right, so they're 3 back right now. They started play on June 1st. They were only 1 game back. So for the entire month of June, they went 10-17. They only lost 2 games. What's even more impressive is they lost 2 games on June 1st. So as of the morning of June 2nd, they were 2.5 games back of the Diamondbacks. They only lost a half a game in that span from June 2nd till now. So, hey, things could be much worse.
Okay. That was...
Silver lining? Come on, man.
Yeah, okay. All
10-17. If you're 1 game back, you go 10-17. You expect to be 6, 7, 8, 9 games back. They're 3. Things could be worse.
Okay.
I'm trying to talk you down from a ledge, Willie.
Yeah.
You're sounding pretty depressed right
I
now.
am, dude. It's
You're usually the most optimistic of the bunch when it comes to why we will win it all.
It's depression. It's just so many things. It's too many things.
All right. Chop the head off.
Chad.
We're 3 games back. Start over. We're good.
Chad,
We can do this.
what you've just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard.
Yeah, I know, but
At
it's
no
true.
point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone on this podcast is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Wait a minute. These are facts. How is this irrational? They're facts.
Oh, I had forgotten about that quote. I missed it.
Yeah, and I paraphrased just a little bit, but
I know, a little bit.
All right,
Not enough of it to count.
I will go second, and I will pass.
Oh. Bum, bum, ba-dum.
Ben,
that was the cheap way out, sir.
I
Why
got
we will win it
nothing,
all,
dude.
I will tell you next week.
I dug deep, and I came up with dirt. So I'm just
Much
passing.
like that swimming pool.
Exactly. Ben, you got anything to finish us off? and
I'm
make us feel good?
gonna spring off a Chad here and quote something I said earlier in the podcast, which is, "No, you go ahead and check the division." I mean, come on. Clearly, nobody wants to win this thing. I mean, other than single-handedly Yasiel Puig and Buster Posey and possibly Paul Goldschmidt, no one wants to win this division.
Fair point.
So
fair point. Well,
so if it
Carlos
gets down to being
Gonzalez-
literally a 3-man race, not like a 75-man 3-team race, but like a 3-man race, I give Buster Posey as much a shot as anybody in that case.
I think Carlos Gonzalez wants to win this thing, but yeah, I think you're right. I think there's very
right.
few people stepping up to the plate in a literal
I
and
think-
figurative sense.
I think Jed Gyorko wants to win this division.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
wow, you pulled that one out of your ass. All right, there you
The
go.
Padres did that too, and it's working out well for them. So
Yeah, there you go. So this has been the gloomiest. Gloomiest?
Gloomiest.
This has been just whatever. This is a
Dumpiest.
clusterfuck of a torture cast is what this is. Yeah. So hopefully something good happens, and next week we feel like we can celebrate. I will say this though. Yesterday was Sunday, and for the first time ever in the MGA, we have an Oakland and a San Francisco chapter. So what we did on Sunday was we had the first ever Cross Bay Cup, which was a Ryder Cup style match between the SFMGA and the Oakland MGA. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the Mediocre Golf
Which one of them had to be Europe?
Well, okay, so Oakland is clearly, because San Francisco is the original. We're obviously the USA. And I play for the SF team.
So
because
which one of you is Davis Love?
not me, but we, as the SF chapter, beat Oakland. I actually made a 20-foot putt on the 18th hole.
20 feet.
To have my match and get a half a point, which that half a point gave us the winning margin to take the cup, the very first ever Cross Bay Cup. So as gloomy as I am today, I'm actually coming off an incredible high.
Nice.
Probably the biggest moment of my mediocre golf career. And I'm right now looking at the medal that is proudly hanging off of the boobs that are also hanging, which were the claret jugs, which I won in the British Open in 2010. And that was a fantastic moment. So it's not all doom and gloom in my life, everybody. Even though the Giants are sucking, that moment was fantastic.
Thanks for your personal stories there, Willie. Back to the Giants.
Sure.
After 82 games last year, they were 1/2 game the Los Angeles Dodgers. So overall, they're only 2.5 back of where they were last year.
One half game back last year
at this time, and right now they're 3 games back. So
can I just mention one half?
I'm
game,
trying to throw positivity into this podcast. God damn it!
1/2 game back of the Dodgers, you say?
Yes, at this time last year.
Are we now not 1/2 game in front of the Dodgers?
Yes. So it's a 1-game swing ahead of the Dodgers from last year.
Which is the only thing that matters around here. All right, so that's going to do it for episode 51, the Noah Lowry episode of the Torture Cast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants, which we are still the greatest team in Major League Baseball history, and I'm not afraid to say that. I don't care. Doom and gloom, whatever. It's all good. Greatest team in Major League Baseball history is the San Francisco Giants. I will go to my grave saying that. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please do so. All of us are at TortureCast. You can also follow each one of us individually. Chad is at ChadK21. Ben is at Fried Duck. I am at Willie Dills. You can also go to our Facebook page, like it. We post stuff there. Follow us on our blog, which is torturecast.com. You can donate to the show on PayPal if you like. Go to iTunes, leave 5-star reviews. And please do all of those things, everybody. Thank you for listening. For Ben Lee, for Chad King, my name is Willie Dills, saying we'll see you next time. A boom.
A big thank you to everybody for listening to the Torture Cast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. Follow us on Twitter at TortureCast. You can also like us on Facebook or check out our blog at torturecast.com. I also want to say thank you to Ashcon and Bailey for letting us use their song Feeling Like a Giant for our intro. For Ben Lee and Chad King, my name is Willie Dills, saying we'll see you next time.